honored to turn over to my ranking member, Senator Cotton.
Thank you, Senator Booker, and thanks to all the witnesses for your patience. As Senator Booker said, we are all at the mercy of the Senate floor schedule, but I know that all of our colleagues on this subcommittee have taken a great interest in the subject and very much appreciate your appearance here. Ms. O'Connor, I'd like to start with you. What happened to your husband is a tragedy, especially because it was so preventable. If it wasn't for the criminal leniency efforts in Philadelphia that released dangerous criminals over and over again, we wouldn't have your officers like your husband repeatedly facing the same kind of dangerous arrests. You mentioned in your testimony the extensive training that he received throughout his career, including high-risk training. You also come, as you testified, from a law enforcement family. Do you find that improving training available to officers helps to protect not only the officers, but also the suspects they encounter?
I think that the training is necessary. My time as a 911 dispatcher takes me back to there's just not enough time when these calls come out. They need immediate response. I don't know how long it would take to get a mental health worker to show up to a situation. I feel like the police are always going to be the first ones to respond, and then maybe they can go from there and decide, they can get a mental health worker in. But I couldn't get somebody to come out and, change the lights on the corner for 2 days, or if we needed, a tow truck to come, it could take hours. So my concern would be how long it would take to get someone out there. So the police, they need the extra training as much as possible, because they're probably going to be the first ones to deal with the situation at hand immediately, and they can assess from there. But the response time, it's not realistic.
In your experience in law enforcement and your husband's and your entire families, when budgets are tight, and especially when budgets are cut, is training often the first thing that gets cut?
I would say so. Yes, definitely. They have to. It's just unfortunate that's the way things are going to happen. And also, right now in Philadelphia and probably across the country, the police officers, they're low. People are retiring, and they're not joining the academy right now. All of it, we're in trouble. Our numbers are really too low because of the concerns of not having the support and overall defunding the police. And they are who is going to be called first in any situation. If you need help, you are calling the police. They need to have all training possible in many different situations.
Thank you, Ms. O'Connor. I want to turn to Sheriff Mims. You said in your testimony that 97% of the inmates in your jail are there on felony charges, implying they've committed pretty serious crimes. A large number of those inmates were also receiving some sort of medication for a mental health disorder while in your jail. Is it fair to say, then, that a significant number of the serious criminals you encounter also have mental health issues? And would it put mental health workers and possibly bystanders in danger to have only a non-police response to these incidents?
Yes, Senator. A large number of our calls for service do involve those with mental health services or mental health illnesses. So, and of course, the concern is we have a dual diagnosis going on. Not only do they have criminal behavior, they have the mental health behavior, as well as maybe a substance abuse issue. And these are calls, for instance, that I testified to that are very dynamic. They enroll very fast. And law enforcement do come into contact very often with those that are mentally ill and have to take enforcement action because of the crimes that they committed. For example, the 2 deputies that we lost in the line of duty at the hands of an armed mentally ill person. One was a vehicle stop where that person came right out of the vehicle and shot the deputy as he was approaching the car. The other one was a burglary in progress, where we don't know that the person that is involved in this also has a mental illness. So they're very dynamic calls. They unfold very quickly. They're very dynamic. And we're coming into contact with those who have been involved in criminal activity that are also mentally ill more and more.
Thank you. As my time is concluding, I'd like to return to Ms. O'Connor and just express again my deepest condolences and sympathy for your loss as well as my gratitude for your testimony today. I know that this must have been a hard day to tell your story, but may the memory of your husband and your loving marriage always be a blessing to you and to those who loved him. Thank you.
Thank you.